At the end of the day, when schoolgirls are getting harassed and potentially attacked on the streets of any town, the men will come out and the men will try to defend their children.
When do we finally say, enough? What is it going to take? How many of our sisters, our daughters, our girlfriends, our mothers, our nieces have to be sexually attacked by vermin criminals arriving on boats illegally across the Channel in this unrelenting invasion of the United Kingdom, and then being housed in luxury hotels and fed with food paid for by our taxes before we rise up? Well, in Essex, this weekend, furious Epping residents finally got to that point, and I do not blame them for a single second.
Protect our kids! 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 Protect our kids!
The protest outside the Bell Hotel came after a man was charged with 3 sexual assaults in just 2 days in Essex after arriving into the country on a boat just 8 days earlier. We were paying for Hadush Gerbel Sly Caputo from Ethiopia, who should not have been here in the first place, to allegedly commit these crimes, and now will no doubt pay dearly as he goes through our already overloaded, bloated justice system. It is a joke. He admitted in court, or at least his defence admitted in court, that he has no connections to the United Kingdom. So he must go. I don't give a damn where to anymore. Send him home. Ideally to Ethiopia now. Now, my friend Adam Brooks has been covering this on the ground all weekend, and he outlined the understandable fury. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favour. Click the subscribe button now. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos.
Habush Gerbaslazi Kabato has been charged with 3 counts of sexual assault, 1 count of inciting a girl to engage in sexual activity, and 1 count of harassment. Now look, this is not surprising. Again, these are alleged crimes. He's been charged, he's not been found guilty. But we are importing people from foreign cultures that treat women as third-class citizens. We are importing people from countries where old men are allowed to marry 9-year-old girls. Now, some of the people that agree with this will be over here in this country and in hotels like this, up and down the country. We've seen terrorists, gangsters, murderers, paedophiles and rapists arrested from hotels up and down the country. This is a fact. The left don't like me to point that out.
Then showing just how low our hard left really are. When locals including one of the female victims' fathers, arranged a peaceful protest for the weekend, the Antifa-inspired Stand Up to Racism scumbags decided to bring violence to Essex by launching a counter-demonstration. As Tommy Robinson pointed out, they described the honest folk of Essex peacefully protesting as fascists who were attacking asylum seekers in the hotel using vile, racist sentiment to stir up trouble. That was a lie. And as Tommy says, of course they were doing no such thing. Migrants staying at the Bell Hotel at the taxpayers' expense have been sexually targeting girls in the area, prompting locals to protest against it. Stand Up to Racism are tonight going to the hotel to stand against locals and with the sexual deviant migrants. And he added, as concerned families protesting this evening in Epping following sex attacks on a local girl by an invader staying at a hotel paid for by the British taxpayer, far-left agitators Stand Up to Racism attacked locals. The father of the girl was in attendance. Absolute scum. But the good news is that after causing all of that trouble, the Patriots of Essex won. Watch.
Why are you getting on him? Why are you getting him? That's the none. That one.
You're bleeding.
Oh, what's the matter, mate? What's that on your head? What's that on your head? You've been cut. You've been cut, have you? Hey? You fucking faggot. You've been cut. Hey? You dirty nonsense!
Yes, you dirty paedophile! Fold in!
That's it, Epping has spoken again.
Not you prick. Come on, Andy Dash! Andy Dash, come on! Andy Dash! Come on, bud!
And as Adam Brooks reported, once those hard left scumbags were out of the mix, there was no trouble, but simply heartfelt disgust and anger.
There are women and children, literally hundreds of people here at the Bell Hotel in Epping. Hundreds. I've seen people in wheelchairs, nans, granddads. Obviously, there's a lot of men. Look, at the end of the day, when schoolgirls are getting harassed and potentially attacked on the streets of any town, the men will come out and the men will try to defend their children. Look, so far I have not seen any trouble. There was tension because of the so-called anti-racism lot.
Reform UK backed the movement, with its local councillor Jamie McIver joining the demonstrations and quite clearly blaming mass uncontrolled immigration. Watch.
All of those incompetent people that have allowed uncontrolled mass immigration to this country, this is what happens. Epping is a beautiful place, a peaceful place, but you're ruining it, like you're ruining the whole country. Sort it out. There's no such thing as integration when you ram it down people's throats, and there is no such thing as peace and community cohesion with uncontrolled mass immigration to this country. The people living here are unvetted, we don't know who they are, and it is dangerous for our community. Hear the people of Epping. Shut this hotel. It is not the right place. No place in this country should have a hotel like this, but Epping certainly shouldn't. Close this hotel.
And Reform now taking the fight directly to the Home Office.
Hi everybody, Councillor Jamie McIver here. So I'm outside the Home Office where I'm about to deliver a letter signed by the 3 Reform UK councillors in Ongar to call on the Home Secretary to immediately close the Bell Hotel in Epping and, of course, the Phoenix Hotel, which is close to Ongar. It is unacceptable that the people of Epping Forest should have to tolerate this level of fear and anxiety because of the behaviour of people living in the Bell Hotel.
But if you think there's any chance of Labour stopping the boats, then I'm sorry, you just haven't been watching close enough. Because the reality is they have no intention of doing so, with 2 Labour MPs now saying the quiet bit out loud. First, Jo White was exposed by the Conservative Post for saying she literally doesn't care about stopping the boats. Listen carefully.
I don't care who will stop the boat, but my priority. My priority. Yes, I care. I care. It's my number one. I don't care who will.
She literally said it. I don't care. That was from a leaked meeting, by the way. Then, the high-profile Labour rebel, but she's gaining a lot of support, this woman, Rachel Maskell MP, went viral for having said the quiet bit out loud too, that they want the invasion to continue, to hell with ordinary Brits and the impact on our lives.
We need to shout so much more and say 20,000 is not enough, 30,000 is not enough. Saturation point, because what does it matter if we have to wait another week for a hospital visit, or if our class sizes are slightly bigger, or if our city is slightly fuller? What does it matter if things are slightly more challenging, if we have to pay a little bit more into the system? Surely it is worth it to see those lives being restored again. And surely it's worth it.
That is how Slippery Starmer's mob really feel. So we need to let them know. Peacefully and calmly, of course, but with significant people power, that we're not going to put up with this anymore. So well done, Essex. Place close to my heart, the birthplace of my mother, of course. You have done it again. But now it is time for the rest of Britain to follow, because eventually Eventually, if we keep this up, the MSM and the establishment won't be able to ignore this uprising. Now, the Superstar panel. But first, you know I never recommend anything unless I truly believe in it. And today I've got something game-changing for you. Have you ever stopped to think about how crucial comfort is down there? Well, let me tell you, today's Outspoken proudly sponsored by Sheath Underwear, the revolutionary brand shaking up men's comfort around the globe. And do you know what I love about Sheath? It was founded by a US Army veteran, Robert Patton, great man. And he thought all about this when he was serving in Iraq back in 2007. So this isn't just any underwear brand. Sheath was designed for the toughest conditions imaginable. Patton was battling relentless heat and discomfort in full combat gear, and he thought there has to be a better way, so he created it. And let's be honest, traditional underwear just doesn't cut it anymore. Sheath's innovative dual pouch design ensures your comfort all day long, keeping things separate, cool, and fresh. Imagine your essentials being comfortably cradled away from unwanted friction and heat. Trust me, it's genuinely transformative. I love Sheath at the gym, on long days at work, even just relaxing at home. I'm telling you, once you've experienced Sheath underwear, there is simply no turning back. They're stylish, they're supportive, and they deliver unmatched comfort. It's like upgrading from economy to first class, but for your underwear. And right now, I'm offering you an exclusive 20% discount at www.sheath.com. That's SHEATH.com. That's 20% off your entire order when you use my special promo code Outspoken at checkout. So what are you waiting for? Sheath, by the way, perfect present. Are you looking for a last-minute Father's Day gift? It really, really is good. And by the way, Sheath isn't just for blokes. Sheath is not just for blokes. You can see their incredible female versions as well. And you can see some of them modeled here as well when I show you the picture of Sheath as the first official underwear brand of the UFC. So you can click on the link below, visit sheath.com, make sure you enter Outspoken at checkout, and thank me later when you're feeling comfortable, confident, and ready to tackle anything the day throws at you. Sheath underwear, redefining comfort one pair at a time. But now, back to the show. Emma Kenny and Stephen Woolfe with me. Stephen, astonishing scenes in Essex, but this has to keep up, doesn't it? We have to keep this up.
Well, we can't stop now. The numbers are too big. 175,000, Dan, that have arrived across the channel since 2018. I want you to put that in context. That's a city the size of Oxford. We had grooming gangs. We have everyday stories, not just here in Essex, but only 2 days ago in Norfolk, we had a channel migrant who had come across who's harassing children in a playing field. Norfolk young men scared them off. We've seen what's happened in Northern Ireland, where Romanians had sexually assaulted young children as well. And it's not just in this country. 4 days ago, there were riots in Torre Pacheco in southern Spain, where Moroccans were attacking the Spanish, and the Spanish retaliated because they've had enough down there. In Germany, they're beginning to do exactly the same. The consequence of our elites, just like those in Labour MPs that you've seen in this video that you produced tonight, is that they're allowing so many people coming into this country, so many people coming into Europe, and they don't care. But the impact on the sexual welfare of our children, on our hospitals, on schools and infrastructure, on the fact that we're paying more in taxation and costing us more just to exist in our own country, are so obvious now that we can no longer stop. We need to keep marching, petitions, rising up where it happens, and letting the elites know that no longer will we accept this, so that they will actually either change the laws or begin to understand that a time has to come where this stops completely.
Indeed. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Emma Kenny, one of the priorities of your whole life, but certainly the focus of your career, has been protecting the victims of sexual abuse. So how does it make you feel that literally this dude is imported? I mean, this scumbag, this piece of vermin is imported, right? On a boat, no connections. He's here for 8 days in a hotel. And within within 2 days, sorry, within 48 hours, Emma, he is charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. I mean, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I've been enraged for a very long time because I
Yes.
was around when the first grooming situation played out, and I still have somebody that I have now on home leave who was one of those victims. So I talked about it 16, 17 years ago, and actually we had more conversations in the press about it back then. It's only very recently people have started to kind of talk more openly about this since that big gap has arrived, and that was because people were shut down. You were called racist. Actually, one of the
Mm-hmm.
videos showed was people being called racist because they turned up. So, well, first of all, culturist and racist are completely different. You can have no problems with anybody's race, but you can have a huge issue with people's culture. The reality is that people don't understand the per capita situation in the UK. You are far more likely, whether people want to like this or hate this as a reality, to be in a situation where you are sexually harmed by an individual from particular areas that are not British. It's as simple as that. Now, of course, it's ludicrous to suggest that white people are not more prevalent in jail. That's because there are many, many millions more. So what we have to do is draw down to the basics. There are issues around the way that men perceive women, particularly from some cultures. And when they arrive here, they believe that women are for the taking, children are for the taking. And I don't care how uncomfortable that is for people to hear. It devastates me that you've got idiots going out and chanting about anti-racism and apparent Labour MPs saying that we just want more, we just want more. No, we don't. We don't want more. We'd like some high caliber individuals who understand culture and are Western centric in their belief systems and will amalgamate with the general population. We'll have those every day of the week. When it comes down to you have to pay more, be put at risk, be in a situation now where even our capital city, which was once considered a wonder of the world, is just absolutely appalling and dangerous. When you get to that point, you have to say, what's the end game? And I think the bigger question for the average Brit, which we all are, let's be honest, the average person is an average Brit in the UK. You have to ask yourself, what is going on governmentally? Is it about creating discord, disharmony, creating a situation where everyone is so afraid that they don't act in a way that's according to our rules and rituals and organisations and our stature and culture? Is it that, or is it just that the government are absolute fools? I don't know, because right now I struggle with the end game. I really do, because we are just destroying the UK.
Stephen, what do you think the end game looks like?
Well, the end game is clearly a divided nation into sections and different societies, pretty much like the way that Turkey was before it became a nation taken over recently by, I think that's someone I've seen in Thessalonica in his grave, the former leader and founder of modern Turkey, where you had Muslims and different sects of Muslims fighting each other. And what we had, if you look historically, whether it's in Rome and the post-Roman period, is different communities basically brutalizing each other and stealing from one another, taking their children. And that's the sort of world where we're here, a segregated world. And I don't think that is a healthy place to live in. I don't think it's a healthy scenario for Britain. And for some reason, whether you're the chief of police, whether you're the senior government civil servants in the Home Office, whether you're the policymakers on non-government law organizations, or more importantly then, these people who are funding organizations like Hope Not Hate, the charities that are doing that, for some reason they think that they're going to avoid it. That somehow all these people come over the boats, wonderful, lovely individuals who are kind and generous, and nothing will happen. They'll integrate in some sort of magical book that they had one day when Oxford studying. I don't know what it is, but they don't seem to see the reality of what happened. And if they were capable enough to understand how history repeats itself, how one society becomes bigger and bigger eventually and more powerful, even if they're in the minority, that they will take over the majority and wipe away all those lovely things that happened to you. For example, just again, looking at history, when the Romans left, there was an awful lot of people who were Britons, who integrated with Rome. They had their nice little palaces, and they thought it would be lovely when all the people come over from the Angles and Saxons in the north and in the south, that they would work. Eventually, they were butchered, or they were forced to join in with the new society. That is the end game if we don't have segregation in the meantime. And I think that's a terrible, terrible way, but it's coming incredibly quickly.
It's coming.
I think it's coming incredibly quickly. It's 10, 15, 20 years at the maximum I would say, before this comes to a head.
So wise up. Wise up. And Emma, can I just ask you about the psychology of the people in Essex, right? Because I loved it. I think a lot of people, Emma, since what happened last summer, and specifically what happened with Lucy Connolly and Julie Sweeney and Wayne O'Rourke, I think people are so deeply terrified that they've almost said, okay, I feel this, but I can't do anything. I can't risk doing anything. But I think what was so good with what we saw over the weekend, Emma, is that these people were calm and passionate and brave and trouble-free, but also absolutely made their point, even if at this point it's been ignored by the mainstream media. Whereas, you know, Emma, if there had been even the slightest hint of violence, not from the hard left people, but from the people on the right, it would have been leading all of the bulletins. But eventually we'll get there. But what's the psychology of people who, since last summer and since Southport and all of the jailings that happened to ordinary people, are like, oh, I'm just too scared? Why did the psychology in Essex change over the weekend? Is it because they are literally just so terrified about their own daughters, for example? What's changed it?
I mean, I genuinely think that the massive majority in the UK, no matter what colour your skin is, for example, even your belief system, the massive majority do not want children to be put at risk, and that brings people together. The belief is, when you look at research, it takes 3.5% of the population to resist. They have to do that ideally peacefully, because it means that more people come together. And what they did right in Essex was that people basically were able to connect with one another and recognise this common thread of connection. Disabled people, old people, young people, they could all come in a peaceful way. So the more that the British public realises that publicly protesting peacefully is the way forward, you can overthrow a system doing that, the better it will be. And I think as far as fear is concerned, I heard Jordan Peterson say the other day that really telling the truth will save the world. So stop lying to yourself about the illogical things that are going on around you and that it's all going to be okay. It won't be. Tell the truth, speak your truth, say things that people don't want to hear when it's truthful, and know that by doing that, those simple shifts in our literal conversations changes the world in a massive way 5 years down the line. So don't allow what happened last year to colour or prejudice your actions today. Go ahead and do it.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.